A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Toivo Njabela. Tonight on the platform, we are welcoming back a regular guest. This is George Kambala. He is the spokesperson of the Affirmation Repositioning movement, which has recently been registered as a political party. Therefore, from being a pressure group, if you like, and George is here to tell us, for example, whether the party will contest in the November election. Thank you, George, for coming back to the platform. Last time you were here, you were a spokesperson of a social justice movement. Now you are a spokesperson of a registered political party. What happened? What made AR think that it was wise to turn into a political party?
Yeah. Thank you, Toys, and also good evening to your fellow viewers. First and foremost, I think we need to understand the birth of AR in its by its own nature. We exist in 6 different struggles, and one of that struggle is the mass demonstration or the mass demonstration or mass mobilization, one would say, and also one is also the elections. So it's a site of struggle. So we can't say that the Affirmation Repositioning movement has transformed into a political party. We just officially entered the arena of politics, because remember, we already did this in 2020 as a site of struggle. So this is so that I'm trying to say that we just don't merely exist to participate in elections, but we exist before and after elections.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, of course, the 2020 because the route that you used to participate in the local authority elections in 2020 was, of course, different, because in those kind of elections you can have ratepayers associations and other groupings that can, but those cannot participate in the national election.
Yes,
that's why you have now grown into a political party.
Yeah.
This question I think I've asked you before, but I will ask you again. Because you didn't do particularly well in 2020, because you won 2 seats in the city of Windhoek council. It's a movement that has stood with people for so long. I thought you would get slightly more than that, but be that as it may, the dynamics could be different. Do we expect an improved performance in this election, and on what basis, if so?
Yeah, look, you see, if we are to use the 2020 election as a basis, remember, you can't. It's my first time. I'm a baby, so whether out of the hospital I start walking or immediately crawling, there isn't any basis for me to be judged or to be said, no, but your brother came like this, so why didn't you do? So I think it's always unfair. Obviously it's unfair, but somehow it's unfair for anybody to say that no, we did bad, we did good. I mean, for anybody to participate in the election, first and foremost, it's already a victory for you to participate in that particular process. Now, whether you get 3 or 4 seats, it's a game. That's a game changer. So we say, look, we did what we did in 2020, but looking at November now, we are most likely. I can't comment on saying that we're gonna do A, B, C, and D, but at the moment is that our projections are very good. We are very confident in the process, and we were looking at least putting some sand in someone's foot this time around, definitely.
Yeah. Why did you enter the political space? What is it that you want to achieve by becoming a political party?
Yeah, look, David, I'm saying that we have already been in the space. The political space, we have been there since 2014. So it's nothing new. The space, the political party I mean, the political space is nothing new. But perhaps to say that the election struggle or the election side is something new that we have already envisioned already in 2016. But for us to say that, we say that, look, it must be done gradually, because at the same time you always have people around you. You always have scavengers, vouchers, everybody in your ear saying go ahead and do this. And you say that, look, as young people that define ourselves, as young people that define our struggle, as young people that define our own journey, we shall do this by our own standards and by our own pace. So this was not informed by anything else but young people. So there isn't any say that, no, this maybe there's a little fish that you want to go and eat come 2025. No, it's say that, look, as young people we need to go in there and air our voices as young people. The time is now.
Yeah, but how do you differentiate yourself from other political parties? I mean, I just checked the figures this week, and there are 20 political parties registered with ECN.
I hope you got the two now that came out this week.
Then yes, yeah, because I just captured that information yesterday, so they must. I think they're included in that. But be that as it may, how would you set yourself apart from the 19 other formations?
The 19 formations generally are not youth led. I mean, in context of from age, in context of age, in context of thought, in context of what we are able to bring to the table. When we say it's youth led, it's on all spheres, but it's beyond that.
But that is exactly the. You see, my difficulty, George, is when people talk about youth, this, youth, that. I am not too old. I think I'm still a young person myself. But I do not understand this obsession with young people. What does it mean? I mean, if being young, what does it do? You could be old and be really a bad leader, or young and be a bad leader. I mean, what is the difference?
So the difference here is that we need to take charge of our own destinies. We can't allow anybody else to do that for us. Because for the past 34 years, we have done that already. We have allowed other people to run for us. We have allowed other people to speak on our behalf. We have allowed other people to make critical decisions on our behalf. Even today now, somebody 60s, over the age of 60, decided on the repo rate today. But that particular person, give him 10, 15 years, he won't be alive. But the repo rate between now and then, he would have been grown, and he also would have made an effect on it. So I was saying that as young people, we need to take charge of our time. Imagine if there's a young person that was riding the Bank of Namibian, for instance, would have made sure that the repo rate, in terms of just doing by a single point, could have said, let's do it at a triple basis. Let's go down by triple basis, because we understand where we are as a nation. We understand that 80% of this country is unemployed, and inflation rate in commerce is at 5%. So we need to ensure that whatever we do is to ensure that everybody is able to live a comfortable life, and not only for the few.
So young people founded AR 10 years ago, 2014, and they have been at the helm of this organization. In what way do you think the organization has really shown that is different from the status quo? Because I'm asking because if you look at political parties in Namibia, they will all arrive on the scene. The lines are very blurry between them and their next opponent. And it becomes very difficult for me as a voter to make a decision about who to vote. And part of the problem is that if you look at American politics, for example, and I'm not saying we must emulate Americans whatsoever, but at least as a voter there in that country, You know that you have a Republican Party, which is a very conservative party, anti-immigration, very strong on that, all these new things about homosexuality. Of course, it's not that they're not tolerant, but they have clear limits as to how far they are willing to tolerate things of homosexuality. While the Democrats on the other side, very liberal, very, even their Africa policy, African leaders generally like it when the Democrats are leading, because that is how you can differentiate from a distance. In Namibia, you can barely see the ideological differences. You can barely see any thick lines that really divide these parties.
I think no. See, I think Trevor, I think you as a young person, I think you're also not being fair to yourself to say that there isn't any clear line, definite line on where we stand.
No. I'm asking you to tell me.
Yeah, yes. No, yes, I understand.
You have to answer that yourself.
So we we call ourselves we are a leftist movement, or in short, the revolutionary force of the left. Now, when we say that, we mean that, look, in Namibia, there wasn't a time where any other political party or movement was able to stop a building of 2 billion being stopped. And during that time, we already said that we are a socialist leftist movement with Sankarist characteristics. And then this same movement was able to bring the president to a table that no one else could never do, and to agree on terms. When it comes to land, clear policy on land issues. So you should already understand that we have a clear objective when it comes to land. And the land is that land must be exploited without compensation. Land must be in the hands of the majority. Land must be in the hands of the state for developmental purposes, or must be exploited without compensation for developmental state purposes by the state. Now, in that same line, this same movement was able to ensure that at least over 5,000 households, individual residential households, are built in Nehenya, Akuku, or Shakati. The same thing in Walvis Bay. So there is a clear line when it comes to when we say about housing. That we're not talking about housing. We're not talking about housing for a elitist. We're talking about a housing that can accommodate a family with an open space for kids to grow in comfort and dignity. Mm. Now that's what we are saying as a movement when it comes to land and housing. The economy is the same thing. We're saying, look, this economy is big enough for all of us, but at the current time, the current regime is only benefiting a few. You cannot have an industry unregulated like the rentals, for instance. We came up with a rental suggestion that we need to have a rental bill. Mm. But till today, the government has not come up with that. The bill is there in the corridors. And I'm told that it's complete, but Minister Tony is failing to do it because he knows who is hurting the most, and it's not Namibians, because the Namibians are already ready for that bill. But those that are keeping Tony from doing that are the few economic well-off individuals. So I'm saying that, look, we need to ensure that this country benefits everyone. Why is it that possible that you are able to regulate school fees from secondary to kindergarten? You can regulate taxi prices, but don't tell me you cannot regulate housing. So our economy position is very clear. So I don't understand why somebody would say that no, there isn't. For instance, someone will tell you that no, we're a socialist country, socialist part. But then when it comes to policy implementation, where we are now almost 80% of the country is unemployed. Over we're almost at about 75% of our debt to GDP. So it's crazy.
I hear you. Yeah, let's go for a quick break because you are starting to sound very Marxist now. But we'll be back in a moment with George Kambala. Our conversation with George Kambala from the Affirmative Repositioning movement continues. Now, one of the things that I'm not hearing any political party really addressing properly is, for example, how they are going to deal with the oil discoveries if they come to the production stage, because there are people saying, yeah, but the percentage, for example, that is held by Namibia is very small. SWAPO's position is clear because they are saying you don't have to own a lot of shares in order to benefit. There are other ways to benefit from your resource. There are people who, even in SWAPO itself, that are not very clear on this green hydrogen thing. Some are saying it's fake, we are being sold dreams, and that if another person in SWAPO comes to power, maybe they will not even continue. What is AR's position on some of these two industries?
Well, look, see, we are saying, for instance, may his soul rest in peace, President Magufuli, when he came into Tanzania, he made sure that he redesigned or re-signed all these agreements, all the little resources agreements, where the country said, no, the country must take a big ownership, either 60 or 40% must be in the state hands. Our brothers in Burkina Faso and Guinea also did the exact same thing. But you did not hear cry outs from investors. Said, no, I'm going. If you don't want this, I am going. But with SWAPO, so SWAPO has been here for 34 years. We have Namdeb. Still, Namdeb only came to own, and then Namdeb only came to own 50% of the diamonds now. That was maybe like 20 years later, where now even Botswana owns part share of Namdeb. You have our uranium, where I think our biggest shares run about 2% in the uranium industry. The other is the 15% that we are sold dreams in USA, but then we actually don't own anything because the dividend that we are getting is paying that ownership. So when somebody from that particular organization talks about, no, we are going to revamp, it's impossible because if you really wanted to and you had the political will of it, you could have done it. Now, what we are saying is that everything, like the Constitution says, anything between the sun and the ground and anything under it belongs to the state. And it shall belong to the state. There's no two ways about that thing, that factor. As an investor, you are not here to come and play American politics or China or Russia or India. First thing and first person that comes to mind must be Namibian. So if I'm going to drill our diamonds, I'm going to drill our oil, if I'm going to, you need to also to set up industries. We need to ensure that we need to ensure that we are actually paying value, adding value to these products. These things of diamond cutting diamonds here and polishing diamonds, that's all that we are doing. But in other industries, in other countries, Rolex are in the particular industries, in those particular countries, putting up shop, putting up the watches. So why couldn't say also that we also need to do the same thing? We can't be doing the same traditional setups where, no, I'm only gonna mine if it's a diamond, I'll allow you to polish. No. Let's set up the industries to add value to that diamond. The only moment the diamond must leave this country, it should be as a finished product. Not as a semi-product. It must be as a finished product, because that's the only way we as Namibians are able to actually benefit from our resources. Because for as long as we are here in this current desert that we are having, it won't work. But beyond that, the agreements, it's not only the agreements that we should relook at. We also look at the SACU agreement that we are having. Because that SACU agreement is one of our biggest stumbling blocks as a country. in terms of our developmental space is concerned. Because whatever that document says that if we want to put up a manufacturing plant, my friends call our brothers next door. That's why the PJET plan is where it is, because the never said you are not gonna do that, not with our approval. So beyond our trade agreements or business deals that we have with our oil and natural resources, for us also to ensure that we actually put up these plans, this adding of value of these adding value plans, we need to relook into that particular cycle agreement. If it means that we pull out of the cycle agreement to ensure that full beneficiation of our resources, then let's pull out. Because we cannot say that no, let's rely on the little 20 billion that we're having from the pool of SACU, but then there's a whole 100 billion waiting to be exploited. So let us rather lose the 20 billion and go and get and exploit the 100. So our issues are not necessarily just those 5%. Our issue is bigger than the 5. Our issue is also there.
I hear you. So as far as your organization is concerned, because you are going to contest in this election, we have not. How does your organization administer the processes of selecting your MP candidates and whatnot? Or are we going to have a Jacob Zuma style there in South Africa, where some guys are sworn in today, next week a new group comes in?
Well, that's the most interesting part of our movement. That there are instruments in place. The instruments in place that ensure how does people go to parliament or local authority. So all those things are already in place. That's why I say that if those with interest really want to understand the movement, the documents are there, are available on social media all over. Google them; they're available for you to read and understand. But like I said, the processes are there. For us right now, as a movement, we are more concerned on bigger issues, because that's an issue of October or maybe a week to November. It's not an issue of concern. Unlike now, other parties, instead of them focusing on serious matters in addressing even this new bill that they're having in Parliament, the public gatherings bill, they are busy now fighting each other in ports. So we're saying that, look, instead of us, we need first to put the issues on Namibia first, before we come now to our personal interest in all those things. Because if we right now, if our parliament was in full session right now, the issue of the public gatherings bill, the new public gatherings bill, would not have been a crisis. It's a crisis because 20% or 50% of parliament is out, and young people that are in parliament are not talking about it. But you can't. But yet they want to come and revoke the bills after they are in parliament. Say no, we'll deal with it when you get it. No, deal the matter now. Show us that you are able to deal the matter now as a young person, not as a party or whatever. As a young person, show us that you are able to deal with it, because we're saying that we are not only representing ourselves as a movement. We're representing our generation and the generation that follows. Now imagine now if my kids and grandkids now are still come and fight a bill that's regulating them on where to gather, how to gather, and where not, and how to get. It's impractical. We need to ensure that our kids are fighting better things, not this bill. They must be addressing hardcore policy matters. Yes,
I hear you. Finally, did you hear from Dr. Kambala today? He just lost a court case. He must pay $100,000. I don't know whether that is an issue of concern to the organization or it's a separate matter that Dr. Mpanda must deal with in his own?
No, I mean, you have seen the documents. There's no way, no sign there of AR. So that is most personal matter. So we also that our personal matters are personal matters. You should never be triggered to our boardroom. So Mr. Mpanda is busy dealing with it with his lawyers. I'm aware that they are busy waiting for the full judgment to decide on the way forward. But yeah, I think with time he will also issue a press and inform the country on how he's going to do that with that issue.
George, thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
All right.
That is George Kambala. He's the spokesperson of the Affirmative Repositioning movement, telling us about their preparations ahead of the November election, especially in light of the fact that AR is now a registered political party. Thank you for watching.